How's it going, everybody? I did, in fact, promise a part 2 to the annual inspection, and that is what I'm doing today. I'm going to start with the landing gear, get the wheels off, get those grease and packed. At some point, I'm going to do a gear swing. I don't know that I'm going to film that because when the airplane's on jacks, there's kind of a lot going on, so I don't know if I'm going to be able to get the camera out for it. And plus, since I'm filming on the iPad, it's not like the GoPro where I can just go hit record. I got to get it set up with a C-clamp to hold it. But I'll get that done, get the wheels done, I'll get the fuel filters done, and then I'm gonna move on to the engine and do the compression checks and clean and gap the spark plugs as well as change the oil. First things first, I'm gonna get that wheel off. I just need a Cessna jack pad underneath the strut. I could use the high wing jack, but I'm not going to because it's a pain. So I just need a Cessna jack pad under the strut, and a floor jack works just fine. There you go. So I'm gonna go ahead and get the bearings out of this one. This tire also needs to be changed. Forgot to record the other one. Smooth move, Bryce. Anyways, I'm gonna go ahead and get the bearings out of this one, check them for corrosion, grease, all that good stuff, and then I'll put the new wheel on here. Well, there you go. I got the bearings all cleaned up and packed. Wasn't any corrosion in there. There's usually not. I went ahead and got the new tube and the tire. So I'm gonna get this put back together, torqued, get it back on the airplane. I still gotta finish the nose wheel, and then I'll probably move on to the fuel system, and then we should be here to help me with the gear swing. So, well. Isn't that pretty? So I got the tire all put on. Now, I'm getting ready to run the engine, but I wanted to show y'all another thing. You see this sump bottle right here? Every single Cessna, well, the exception of the twins, I guess, but every high-wing Cessna has that fuel sump bottle. And I know a lot of people who don't take it off and clean it. But here's my opinion. It's a sump bottle. It catches water. It's made of steel, so it will rust. If you own a Cessna, you need to make sure you're doing that every single annual inspection. I have worked on them in the past where people have kind of neglected them for a couple of years because they didn't think it was that big of a deal, and it was full of water, and it got full of corrosion and microbials and all kinds of other stuff, and it's just nasty. So I'm gonna get that off and clean that up real quick, make sure that it's nice and pretty, and then I will run the engine and do the compression checks and all that fun stuff. So fortunately, I can show it. It's been about a year since we cleaned this one. If you look right there at that little yellow looking thing, that is not corrosion. That's a little thing of microbial. Yes, avgas gets microbial too. I know that in school they teach you it's only jet engines, but it will show up on these, and that's why I say you need to take these out. So I did this one last year in this airplane, and there's already that little piece down there in the bottom. It can happen to avgas, and I've seen it happen, especially on these Texas airplanes. But I'll show you the filter part of it is left behind. That's your little fuel screen right there. Focus, there you go. Little fuel screen right there. Fortunately, this one's pretty clean, so I don't need to take it out, but normally I would take that all the way out and clean that as well. So I'm gonna get this put back in, and I'll catch up with you when the engine's running. All right, let's pull this thing out and run it. Beautiful, let's do it. If I can push the airplane in and out of a hangar with a shattered collarbone, so can you. I don't like that. All right, I got the airplane back in the hangar. I'm gonna go ahead and do the compression checks, then I'll get the oil out and do the mags. It might get really loud. I do apologize. I am still filming on the iPad for the moment. So believe it or not, I'm like 3 feet away from the camera. It's just zoomed way in there. I know I keep saying that, but I'm gonna get these compression checks done real quick. Write them down so you don't forget. So that's the compression checks done. I'm gonna go ahead and get the rest of the plugs out, clean them, gap them, I'll test the magnetos, and then I am going to perform the exhaust AD. All right, I got all the plugs cleaned up, gapped, and put back in. So now I'm gonna go ahead and do this exhaust AD. You basically gotta pull the shroud out of your way. I'm gonna use my borescope for that. I can't hold the iPad in such a way that you can see me borescope it, but I'll use my borescope for that, and my flashlights and my mirror and all that good stuff. And I'll also do the soap. You have to pressurize it with a vacuum, spray a bunch of soapy water in there, look for leaks, that whole thing. Kind of a pain, but that's another one you need to make sure you do. A lot of people skip that. Do that exhaust system AD. Well, it wasn't until I finished things later that I realized I had some more audio issues. I've been using an external microphone. It's unplugged right now. I'm not using it at all because I did the propeller, I did the magnetos, I did the oil change, all this stuff, and none of it recorded any audio. So I'm a little frustrated with that. It is pretty late though, it's like 5 o'clock. So I am gonna go ahead and get out of here. The owner's gonna come by tomorrow so that we can do the gear swing, and then we will be done completely with this aircraft, with the exception of a few filters and an ELT battery that has to get changed. So I'm not gonna bore y'all with any of that. This has been an annual inspection on a Cessna 210. It's been 2 days. Tomorrow will make 3 days total that I have spent on it. So if you enjoyed the video, like, comment, subscribe, and as always, be easy.